All right, what's going on, y'all? So we got our second meeting of our Mastering Real Food for a Lifetime progression coming up this weekend on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. PST, in person or virtual. And we're so excited for it because this is one of the best meetings as far as information goes. It's got some really solid content. We're going to be focusing on metabolic efficiency and flexibility. I'll talk a little bit about what that means here in just a moment. I want to make a plug for bringing your guides, because remember, these new guides are like follow along workbooks. They're pretty awesome. There's a PDF version available inside the community, but if you want a hard copy, it's twice the size of previous year's guides. And again, I'm really proud of it because it's like a follow along workbook. The first thing we're going to do when we get together is go over our little reflection sheet. All right, so this is very similar to what we used when we first sat down and started going into this guide, except now we get to compare how we feel now to how we feel when we first started. Now, most of us are probably experiencing some great beneficial changes. Some of them may be really subtle, but remember, they're cumulative over time. We just have to have some patience. This is a lifelong journey. And we're also probably experiencing some transitional difficulties, whether it's physiological or mental, emotional, and learning things about ourselves and cravings and urges and addictions. And this is really deep work. It's such beneficial stuff. Remember, our goal is to empower you for the rest of your life so that you never question food again. But this takes a lifelong commitment to this stuff, okay? And we're never gonna leave your side, all right? We're gonna figure it out together. So anyway, we're gonna do this reflection, really useful. And then when you turn into a couple pages into this new chapter, maximizing metabolic flexibility, then we'll talk a little bit about what we're covering at this meeting. So the first thing that we're gonna be talking about is the importance of being a real foodie and the power of eating 100% fresh real food versus having all these SHT approved options in there. All right, so those things are great to go to on occasion, but we're going to talk about the power and the benefits and how to be a real foodie by covering our moderation guidelines. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the main focus of the meeting, and that is what we call metabolic efficiency and flexibility. Now, metabolic efficiency is the ability to use both glucose and fat for fuel very easy, with a preference for fat for fuel, because this is the way that we're meant to be. Humans have burned fat for fuel as their primary fuel source for energy for most of our existence. And this stopped, or this changed, at the advent of agriculture and the introduction of this majority grain-based diet and carbohydrate-based diet, all right? So a huge topic we're gonna cover. We're gonna spend most of the time here. We're gonna talk about things that we can do to nudge the body in this direction of metabolic efficiency and flexibility. We're also going to have our first introduction into strategic fasting, which is our way of fasting because it incorporates all the latest and greatest science and research and books and authors on fasting protocols. So we'll start and have a little introduction into it, and don't get nervous about it because we're not going to ask you to fast. We're just going to talk about the benefits of it, and again, some little things that we can do to kind of move the body in the direction of embracing more space. And then we're going to talk a little bit about supplement recommendations, because I've already had some questions about like what should we take for supplements. We're not really big fans of these big broad spectrum supplement formulations, because we'll talk about why in the meeting. But what we are going to talk about is what we call strategic supplementation, and we're going to talk about the most important things that you need to supplement to make yourself look, feel, and perform amazing. Okay, so this is going to be an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, jam-packed, an hour of power, and we hope to see you guys there. Again, 10:30 a.m. PST, virtual or in person. And if you did not make the first meeting, if you haven't even signed up yet, that's totally cool, because guess what? You get into it, we're going to catch you up, and you can jump right in where we're at because it's still early on in the progression. We look forward to seeing you guys there, all right? Let me know if you have any questions.